Okay, so let's talk about assignment number 3. Okay, assignment number 3 is on supplements. Okay, so relatively timely on this. Okay, you have 4 weeks to do it. It's going to involve a little bit of research on your end, and it's going to be it's not an essay. Okay, I need to say that right off the top. It's a report, and it's going to be a concise report. Okay, so I'll get into the details in a second here. Here's some of the topics I have selected. If you want to do something not on the topic list, please get some approval from me beforehand. I want to make sure it's something that's suitable, and there are some things that there might not be any information on out there and whatnot. I was trying to choose things that were available in Canada and a little bit of either popular supplements or things maybe you've never heard of. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So what you're going to do for this assignment, okay, you're going to give me a report. And it's going to be 2 pages maximum. Okay, so this is going to be a little tough because I want you to be thorough and concise simultaneously. Okay, and you can see I even have it structured in a certain way. So make sure you have these headings, okay? Title, role in the body, claims, critique, and summary. So you're going to pick your supplement, you're going to do a little bit of research, and then you're going to write this report. And so probably where you want to start is the research phase on this, and I'll talk about how you're going to do that here in a moment. But what I want you to do is basically find 2 studies done in peer-reviewed journals. And I'll tell you how you can do that here in a moment. And you're going to base your report around that. Okay, so you're not going to be, you may not be able to find everything on it. But so start off, write your report. What are the claims? 1 to 3 sentences max. Your critique, that's going to be the big part of this. And so I'm talking about 3 paragraphs max. We've got to fit all this into 2 pages, and you're going to have some references. So let's talk about those references and how you're going to find some information. There's obviously a lot of information on the internet from all sorts of sources, and many of them are going to be a good place to start. You're going to read up on it, see what the major claims are, and there's a lot of health websites and whatnot that are going to tell you some good things about it. But then we're going to go to the peer-reviewed research, and we're going to try to find out and do a little bit of digging. So I'm hoping everyone can find 2 peer-reviewed sources. And so like I said, your critique is going to be a little bit of a review of what they're actually saying in those studies. So the big part of this is finding 2 sources that are kind of just really good sources. Okay, I don't want you, if you're doing vitamin C, let's say, and you find a vitamin C study done on rats, for example, and it's talking about, nothing happened. Okay, that's maybe not a good study. For vitamin C, I guarantee you there's lots of other good studies out there. Some of the supplements, that may be the case, right? They're testing a claim for, let's say, prevention of cancer or something like that. And maybe you find 2 studies that show exactly that there doesn't seem to be any effect for preventing the cancer. If that's the case, then those would be good studies because you're addressing the actual claim. So when you're in your research phase, okay, make sure you can find some good things. And if you keep finding dead ends, try a different supplement and see what you can find there. So I'm going to show you how you can find some of these peer-reviewed studies. There's a ton of databases out there that will direct you to the scientific research. These top 2 are the ones that I am the most familiar with. Pubmed is basically a really big international database, and it's dealing with medical, biology, and health issues. And it is a massive, massive database. And that's the one I recommend the most. The Cochrane Library is also health related as well. I'm a little less familiar with it, but those are 2 good sources to start. And what I'm going to do is I'll bring it up and show you how to use these databases here in a moment. Lots of other databases. You can try Google Scholar. Google Scholar is very good at picking up things that the other ones can't find. But sometimes it's also picking up things that are maybe not peer-reviewed, or sometimes you're finding like somebody's poster from a conference, and that's all you can't find any information about it and whatnot. Science Direct is another one that people are using and whatnot. And like I said, there's tons of these databases out there. You can also go to the library and talk to the librarian. I know they're great. They can help you with some of these things. So right now I'm going to click on Pubmed. and I'll show you what it looks like, okay? Okay, so this is what PubMed looks like. You can find PubMed by just Googling PubMed, and it'll pop up. Sometimes you're ending up with a different access portal. It doesn't really matter. It's all accessing the same data. And you can see it's telling you that it has 33 million different citations that you can search, okay? So usually the way PubMed works is the more things you put in that search bar, the more specific it's going to be, right? So you may have noticed one of the supplements was garlic, right? So if you just type in garlic, you're probably going to get, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's type in garlic. So there we go. Garlic, you get 7,100 and something 92 results. Okay. I guess I was expecting more from garlic than that. You know, that's a good start. But this is going to be talking about garlic in all sorts of different contexts. There might be a biologist who is studying the garlic genome, right? So you're going to get everything. So restrict yourself a little bit more and maybe type in garlic supplements. So let's see what happens if I do that. So here's where I might get a little bit funny because I might try garlic supplements, I might try garlic supplementation or garlic supplement, and I might get slightly different results. So try all those kind of things. If you're looking for garlic supplements for a certain type of health claim, let's say immune system or something like that, you could try typing that in as well. So how many results did I get this time? So about 10% of what I had before, 768. So this is better, okay? I'm getting more specific information from this. Now let me show you a couple other tricks on this and how to access the articles. So one of the other tricks is if you go down here, so right here, this is going to give you access to the citations for, you know, potentially millions of articles, but some of these are behind paywalls, meaning you have to have a subscription in order to access it. And so the thing I really like about PubMed is we can also screen which ones are free, so you don't have to pay for them, right? Because I don't want you to have to go and pay for some of these things. If you do find one that is behind a paywall and it looks like it's a really good study, also not a problem. You can go to the library and there's an interlibrary loan form or something. I'm not sure how they do it. I just email the librarian and say, hey, can you get this for me? But maybe for students it's a form or something. I'm not really sure. And usually it's like a day or two. She'll get it for me, and then you can check it out because there may be some really good ones behind the paywalls that you want to access. Which is why you need to do that research thing kind of sooner than later, so you have time to sort of get these things, gather your information, a little time to sort of, you know, churn it over and whatnot. But I'm going to click that free box there, and that's where I'm going to start. And that's going to give me all the ones that I can access without paying. So you can see that narrowed it down to 276 results, which is not bad, okay? And now I can start looking at these and see, are there any of these that look interesting to me, okay? And some of them, you may click on them and it's just like, it's scientific gobbledygook. You don't understand it. That's fine, just go to another one, right? Find something that you can understand and something that you think is relevant, right? Sometimes you might find some articles that are, you know, 39 pages long, and then the next one is 10 pages, right? So, you know, that may be a factor as well, right? So click on that free one, and then you can click on the links that it provides you. So this one here, you can see potential benefits of garlic and other dietary supplements for the management of hypertension. Okay, let's check it out. So when you click on it, you can see it's giving you a little bit more information. It's giving you basically the bibliographical information, so the names of the authors, the names of the journal. It's also giving you the abstract. And read the abstract, because this is telling you exactly what it is about, the summary. If the abstract kind of just doesn't really click with what claim you're trying to mesh with, just go find something else. Over on the right is where you're going to find the link to the actual article. Sometimes there's multiple links. Some of these journals have multiple databases. particularly some of the free ones. They have these free journal databases they put in, and then they have their own actual website. So you can click on that, and it'll dig up the article. So there's the article, and I'll just scroll down quickly here for a second. And you can see it's all there, all their data and everything. But in the end, the most important part of this is the abstract, because it's going to tell you what you want to know. And there's going to be a lot of information in the abstract that's going to help you write your executive summary, right? You're looking at a 2-page report you're going to give me. So I don't need to know all of the nitty-gritty details of what they've done, but sort of, some of the major findings is going to be really important. Now there's 2 ways to read this, by the way. You can read the article on the web page, or if you take a look at the top right here, you can get the PDF, right? The PDF is the file format. And you're going to need to do that at some point anyway, because when you submit your assignment, I also want you to submit the PDF file of your 2 research reports that you found, okay? I want to have them as a part of that so that, when I'm doing the grading, I want to see that you found them and that they are appropriate. And maybe I'll even check to see that they're saying what you say they're saying. Okay, so that's part of your mark, is submitting the PDFs. So if I click on this, it'll give me more of a published format of the document as well. So I'll do that. I don't know if it's going to pop up for me where it's going to be. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so you can see there's the published format of this whole thing. So it's a little bit neater, maybe a little bit easier to read and whatnot. Any questions about that? So that's kind of the assignment. I'm sure there'll be some more questions as people do some digging. I think I had 1 or 2 other things to say about it. The Cochrane Library, by the way, is relatively similar. It has a search bar, and the more things you put in the search bar, the more specific it's going to be. And sometimes they have a slightly different profile of articles that they pop up in terms of when you're searching. So sometimes it's worth it to try both of them. Pubmed is my usual go-to. I know how to use it, and it usually finds what I'm looking for, but sometimes other databases are good as well. Now, just keep in mind, like I said, there are lots of databases out there, and the reason why I'm pointing out Pubmed and the Cochrane Library is they are sending you to peer-reviewed research. A phenomenon that's kind of happened in the last, 5 to 10 years is there is a lot of research out there that they call them preprints now. And it means that it hasn't been peer-reviewed. And this has been highlighted a lot more with this pandemic, where this is in news reports. So reporters are always looking for stories, and researchers are sometimes doing these preprints, meaning they're putting information online. It hasn't been peer-reviewed yet. And so sometimes these are good studies, and sometimes they're exactly the opposite. They're bad studies, right? So we just want to make sure that we are getting things that have been peer-reviewed. Any questions, always do ask. If you're not sure if something is appropriate or not, please ask me, okay? A lot of the preprints will say at the top that they're a preprint and have not been peer-reviewed, which is a good thing. So this is what the mark's going to look like. So it's 15%. The bulk of it is going to be for your content, and it's thoughtful, it's appropriate, accurate, that you're talking about the right amount of information. Like if your claim is talking about how it's going to help your immune system, and then your content is talking about bone structure, that's not as good, right? We want to make sure we're connecting the claims to the research that you found. 4 marks for references, right? And pretty much a full 2 marks that what you found are good articles. So that's going to be, like I said, the biggest part of this at the beginning is making sure you find 2 really kind of good studies that are relating back to those claims, okay? And a couple of marks for kind of, organization, clarity, quality of writing, that kind of thing. So kind of some subjective marks in there as well. Okay. No more questions? Probably not really time for me to start a new topic, so I'll just finish there. Happy Friday. Yeah.